What's up, everyone? Today we have another fantastic compilation featuring the best stories from r/Justnomil. These 5 incredible tales will shock and entertain you. Subscribe if you're new here. This story is titled They Just Showed Up, posted by u/Biofuzz. I am 13 days postpartum. Dear husband is at work for the first day. And Jane Mill dragging father-in-law just show up unannounced. She was literally hiding from the door window. So I did not see who it was before opening the door. I was so baffled I let them in. She wanted to hold low, of course, and against my better judgment I let her. Because by now she has seen the pictures of the healthy in-laws holding him, so I can't exactly say no. And stupid me thought. I responded to her in the group chat that I don't want people kissing him till flu season is over. When I came to my senses 10 minutes later, and told them nicely that I was kicking them out so I could nap, now that Lo is asleep. They did accept that luckily. She just went and kissed him before handing him back to me. I am so mad. Dear husband is gonna have a fun time correcting this for me. Because I am not dealing with this shit. Edit for the... This story is titled It's Not a Tutu, It's a Vagina. Posted by u/AdmirablePoot6039. This next story will blow your mind. We believe in using the proper words to genitalia in our house for the sake of protecting our child from predators, and being mature about the subject. For some reason my mother-in-law thinks it's okay to encourage our daughter to call her vagina a tutu. When I heard Lo say this, I told her that's what ballerinas wear. I'm ready to knock my mother-in-law in the head. Especially because her daughter was molested as a child by a neighbor. This story is titled Pregnant and Already Dealing with an Overbearing Mother-in-Law. Terrified she'll repeat past behavior at the hospital. Posted by u/Bissasamtwu2017. This next tale takes us in a completely different direction. Hi everyone. As English is not my first language, I used AI for translation. I'm currently pregnant. Ever since we told my mother-in-law, she has been extremely overbearing. She keeps bombarding me with baby name suggestions, even though we don't even know the gender yet, insists that we should move in with her, and assumes she will be babysitting regularly. Even though she is clearly too old for that. And I plan to stay home with the baby at first. So far, my significant other has actually been doing a good job shooting her down. However, he recently told me something that has made me extremely anxious. When mother-in-law's first 2 grandchildren were born from her oldest son, she apparently both times terrorized the entire family until she was allowed to see the newborns on the very first day in the hospital. Her husband at the time, and my significant other, and my brother-in-law all tried desperately to stop her. Mother-in-law reportedly stormed the maternity ward, caused such a scene, and harassed staff and family until they finally let her into the room. My poor sister-in-law was so exhausted after labor that she couldn't defend herself. My significant other tried to reassure me, and said I shouldn't worry. His plan, according to him, would be to handle it by picking his mother up, bringing her to the hospital, letting her look at the baby for 30 minutes, tell us how pretty it is, and then bringing her back home. He believes that if she gets this out of her system, she'll be satisfied. And leave us alone for the first 3 weeks. He said he's learned that nothing else works, and that it's best to get it over with as quickly as possible. I absolutely lost it. I told him very clearly that if he leaves me alone with our newborn to chauffeur his mother around, so she can get her way, I will not let him back into the hospital room. I will inform hospital staff that neither he nor his mother are allowed access. And I will spend my entire postpartum recovery with my parents so I can have peace and quiet. I think he understood how serious I am and says he respects my boundaries. But at the same time, he keeps saying that his mother will become a furious monster if she doesn't get what she wants. And I'm honestly scared that he'll cave under the pressure when the time comes. So my question is, what else can I do now to protect myself and my baby? How do I make sure my boundaries are respected during birth and postpartum, especially given mother-in-law's past behavior? Thank you for reading and for any advice. This story is titled, How Would You Feel if mother-in-law took baby to her room and closed the door? Posted by use her namesakes. This next story will blow your mind. I want to know how other new moms would feel if their mother-in-law did this. She's done it a few times. When we stay over at her house because we live 4 hours away, we will be in the living room. And then, out of nowhere, when I'm not paying attention, she leaves to her bedroom with the baby and closes the door. I get anxiety when she does this. So I just follow her, and knock on the door and make small talk. In another instance, when we've been over at my in-laws, she has came in our room in the morning while I was half asleep. And baby cooing and has said, "Okay, baby, let me take you so your mom can sleep," and just left to her room with my baby. I have never known how to feel about this, it just gives me anxiety. And I don't know if it's a normal thing for her to do. How would you feel if your mother-in-law did this? Would you also feel as negatively as I do? This story is titled, Soon-to-be Mother-in-Law, Blew Up at My Fiance, and I Over a Cake Tasting. Posted by /Inevitable Mud 419. And now for our final story of today. Quick preamble. I am mainly concerned for my fiancée, as she is the one struggling with this. I'm writing this more as a smoke test to try to help her as best as I can. I don't really know what else to do beyond advising her to get professional help. Anyway, here goes. I have a situation I could use some advice on. I am a 27-year male soon to marry a 25-year female. She and her mother have never really gotten along well. My fiancée has told me of many instances of her mother's behavior that I consider abusive. And she has said she isn't even sure that her mother even loves her at times. Recently there was an incident at a party. The mother found out that my fiancé and I were doing a cake tasting without her. It was meant to be romantic, and part of a 5-year dating anniversary trip. Her mother got very upset, and started getting increasingly more angry, in public view of the rest of the party. She then found out we were doing a dessert bar instead of a full cake, and got super angry and started demanding we cancel the tasting and give her her wedding cake. We told her we weren't going to do that, but we appreciate her concern, and will include her in the next tasting, and that the dessert bar was to accommodate other guests who may not like cake. That did not appease her and my fiancé had to step away. I intervened, and she then got mad at me as I wasn't budging and started saying things like, "I know you don't give a fuck," but we ended up leaving the party early as she continued to get more and more riled up. She was also very drunk at the time. After the party, she began calling my fiancé to berate and belittle her and again demanded we cancel the tasting and give her her cake. She also threatened to disown her and prevent other family from coming to the wedding. We thought she would come to her senses by morning, but the first text my fiancé received from her at 8 a.m. was that her mother wanted us out of the house by the end of the month. I should say at this point that we were living in their house while they were living with the fiancé grandma who has Alzheimer's. Sidebar. My fiancé was effectively raised by her grandma, which is complicating this even more. We were doing this more as a quid pro quo favor. They didn't want to leave the house empty or to trust an unknown tenant, and they were willing to offer a low rent as compensation. When the mother told us to leave the house, we did promptly within the week. The fight happened on a Saturday. We were out the next Friday, not expecting her to come around, which she didn't. Her mom also paid for half the wedding dress, which my fiancé promptly paid back the night of the fight. That was her only financial contribution. My fiancé and I have footed everything else. Her mom has since cold-shouldered us, though my fiancé's stepdad has still invited us to some events, including my fiancé grandma's birthday party. But otherwise her mother has completely ignored her, and leaves the room if my fiancé is in it. The fight was now 8 months ago. Even more recently, her mom texted her angrily about my fiancé having access to her grandma's emails, believing she could log in and change them on account of a recovery email that she received. The recovery email was that my fiancé's email has her grandma's as her recovery, not the other way around. She then proceeded to get angry about my fiancé telling other people about the situation. All my fiancé has said to anyone who talks with her mom is that they had a disagreement, and that we are not sure she will be at the wedding. My fiancé tried to prove that was all she said, but her mother continued to get mad anyway. She then finished that most recent text chain by saying, "Hope you have a special day and enjoy eating that cake for two." I'm at a loss. I have not dealt with this level of toxicity before. And my fiance is pulling her hair out about whether she should capitulate, or if it is her fault. Could really use some advice. Some additional texts from the night of the original incident. Enjoy your cake for two today. I am going to post your wedding dress on Facebook, since none of my friends will be going anyway. Grandma thinks you are terrible too. And that's all for today's Reddit stories. These incredible tales never fail to amaze me. Subscribe for more compilations like this. What did you think? Drop a comment. Thanks for watching.